Hello, I'm David Kerr and you're watching Shalom World News. Here's your latest news headlines from around the globe. The Catholic Church and other religious groups have been unfairly discriminated against by various governments during the present COVID-19 pandemic. That's the opinion of the Vatican's representative to the world's largest security-orientated intergovernmental body, the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Addressing an online gathering of the OSCE last week, Monsignor Janusz Urbańczyk said that some of the measures taken by governments to stem the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic involved, quote, de facto discriminatory treatment of religions and their members. He suggested that in many countries, quote, rights and fundamental freedoms have been limited or derogated, including places where the state has ordered churches to be closed or where religious services have faced greater restrictions than other areas of public life. Pope Francis has offered prayers for peace, justice and reconciliation in the United States. The Holy Father was responding to the recent outbreak of protest and in some cases rioting across the US, sparked by the death of George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man who died on May the 25th after being restrained by 4 police officers in the Minnesotan city of Minneapolis. Speaking during his weekly Wednesday audience at the Vatican, Pope Francis described the death of Mr. Floyd as tragic and said he was now praying for the repose of Mr. Floyd's soul and for his grieving family. The Pope stated that any society that claims to defend the sacredness of human life cannot turn a blind eye to the sin of racism. He also condemned the recent riots as self-destructive and self-defeating, stating that nothing is gained by violence and so much is lost. The Holy Father concluded his comments by asking Our Lady of Guadalupe, the patroness of the Americas, to intercede for all those who work for peace and justice within the United States and around the world. There are calls for greater protection for Christian communities and Christian leaders in Nigeria following the abduction of one of the country's leading Protestant clerics. The Reverend Joseph Masson is the chairman of the Ecumenical Christian Association of Nigeria in the central state of Nasarawa. He was kidnapped by unidentified gunmen from his residence in the town of Lafia last Wednesday and wasn't released until late on Saturday night. Now the Christian Association of Nigeria is calling upon the Nigerian government to take steps to better protect both Christian communities and Christian leaders. Last month, the United States Commission on Religious Freedom identified Nigeria as a country of particular concern when it comes to religious liberty. Pope Francis has donated an ambulance to help serve the poor and homeless of the city of Rome. The Pope made his gift through the Office of Papal Charities. That's the department of the Holy See charged with exercising charity to the poor in the name of the Holy Father. Pope Francis was given a tour of the vehicle on the morning of Pentecost Sunday by the Papal Almoner, Cardinal Konrad Krajewski. The Vatican press office explained that the ambulance will exclusively assist the poorest, who they say remain almost invisible to institutions. The ambulance will also serve as a mobile clinic as part of the Vatican's Mercy Clinic, which is situated beneath the colonnades of St. Peter's Square. Meanwhile, Pope Francis has also given his public blessing to a global rosary relay due to take place on Friday, June the 19th, the Solemnity of the Sacred Heart. The relay is being organised by the World Priest Organisation, who exists to support clergy across the globe in their ministry. The annual Rosary Relay will see participants from over 85 countries pray for the sanctification of priests. In a letter sent to the organisation's Episcopal advisor, Archbishop Michael Neary of Tuam in Ireland, the Vatican's Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, says that Pope Francis gives his blessing to the Rosary Relay and wished to join those participating in praying that priests everywhere, he said, will be confirmed in their ministry of proclaiming and celebrating the merciful love of Christ the Redeemer, and he added that priests become ever more fully shepherds after Christ's own heart. Finally, to a story that is inspiring many around the globe. Despite having a rare genetic disease that causes him persistent pain, young Carson Kissel from Ohio is a cheerful 13-year-old boy who is leading tens of thousands of people around the world in praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet for the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. Carson was born with epidermolysis bullosa. That's a rare skin disease that causes Carson's skin to be fragile and prone to recurrent blistering. That requires Carson to undergo a daily regime of skincare, including wearing bandages. Unencumbered though, Every day at 3 p.m, Carson sits in front of his webcam, smiles, and leads tens of thousands across the world in praying to the divine mercy of Jesus Christ. In fact, on one occasion, his daily viewing figure reached approximately 60,000 people. His mom and dad, Kirsty and David, describe their son as a great blessing and say that they hope he can help more people to experience God's mercy. Well done, Carson. God bless you, son. Well, that's all for now. Join me next time for more headlines from around the globe. Until then, may God bless you. Shalom.